Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Before I start the video today, I have a quick announcement to make. Starting on June 21st, I'll be leaving for Missouri. The reason for that is, well, basic training. I'll be gone for about 9 weeks, but I'll have some videos made to be automatically uploaded. My goal for now will be 1 video per month, maybe 2, so apologies ahead of time for the lack of uploads. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video, where today we will be taking a look at the infamous T-90A, nicknamed Vladimir. Now the T-90A is a perfect example of why bigger doesn't always mean better. I mean, the T-90A is literally half the size of the Abrams and most NATO tanks, and packs just as much if not more in terms of firepower. I'll be taking a look at the T-90A with the usual format. If you've seen any of my previous videos you will know, but for those who are new to the channel, this is how I'll be dissecting the T-90A. I'll be reviewing in the order of history, performance, weaponry, playstyle, and then the summary. So first we'll go over the history. The T-90A's design began in the early 90s as a next generation upgrade for the T-72 lineage of MBTs. It received a new gun, power plant, protection, and the infamous Stora-1 soft kill system, along with other fire control upgrades. The T-90A eventually was put into service with the Russian Federation in 1994. But realistically speaking, the T-90A still shared plenty of similarities with the older T-72 series of tanks, leading many to claim that the T-90A is just a T-72BU with a new turret. Next up, we'll take a look at the performance of the T-90A. The T-90A, still being a member of the T-72 family, is still powered by a diesel engine, unlike the T-80 family of tanks, which are powered by a gas turbine engine. The T-90A's CHTZ V92S2 engine can produce a whopping 884 horsepower, allowing the T-90 to travel at a max speed of 60 km per hour. But in an ideal situation, 40 to 50 km per hour is as fast as you can go with this tank. Now speed isn't the only thing that contributes to the tank's performance, so let's talk protection. The T-90A, unlike the older T-72 tanks, is a new turret, ditching the old and round design for a more diamond-shaped turret. While this isn't exactly game-breaking, as the armor layout is still the same, it sure is a breath of fresh air compared to the older turret design. However, the T-90's turret isn't the only thing protecting you from oncoming rounds. The T-90A is filled with Contact 5 ERA from top to bottom, along with the aforementioned Stora-1 Dazzlers, along with something no Russian tanks has received before. Yes, you've guessed it right, that will be the Laser Warning Receiver. While it's not something as physical as a Contact 5, the Laser Warning Receiver, like the name suggests, will give you a warning when an enemy or friendly tank is lasing you, allowing you to react accordingly, subsequently increasing your survivability. Before we move on to weaponry, I just want to add something about the Stora-1 Dazzlers. Do not rely on it. While it is able to confuse oncoming ATGMs, they are only effective towards laser-guided ATGMs. Wire-guided ATGMs like the TOWs will not be affected by it. Okay, now onto the weaponry of the T-90A. Being a Russian MBT, the T-90 is armed with the infamous 2A46M-5 125mm smoothbore gun, a coaxial 7.62mm PKT machine gun, and a 12.7mm 5P49 cord heavy machine gun mounted on the turret. The ammunition that can be fired from that gun are the standard 3BM42 Mango shell, 3BK18M heat shell, 9M119M1 tandem warhead ATGM, 3BM60 Svinets shell, and something no other Russian tanks have, the 3OF26 EDKV high explosive with a timed fuse. While this looks good on paper, in practice it is horrible. The fuse will cause little to no damage to enemy vehicles, and very rarely will you be able to hit an enemy helicopter or aircraft. Although if you use it without a fuse, it will act like any other Russian HE rounds. With that in mind, I highly suggest you take 20 rounds of 3BM60 or 3BM42 depending on what you have researched, and 2 utility rounds, or whatever ratio works for you. Just don't rely on your heat rounds, they won't do much in this battle rating. Now with all the information in mind, how should you play this tank? The simple answer is that it plays like every other Russian MBT. However, with the equipment you possess such as Gen 2 thermal imaging device and laser warning receivers and a strong turret, you can choose a more passive playstyle such as sniping, especially with the optics the T-90A provides. The 12 times gunner sight will give you a significant advantage over other tanks, but don't get too overconfident, since at the end of the day, your optic doesn't save you from enemy shells. Now onto the summary. How is the T-90A, and is it worth grinding for? Let's tackle these questions one at a time. The T-90A has a good balance of firepower, protection, and mobility, except the notoriously slow reverse speed, but besides that, everything else is as you would expect from a 1990s tank. Although being a Russian tank, your gun depression will limit you from most terrains. If I have to give my honest opinion, the T-90A will be above average. But is the T-90A worth the grind? If you ask me, I'd say it is absolutely worth going for. While not being the most overpowered tank in the game, it does come with a lot of protection and firepower for its price. And it's a fairly easy tank to play, especially if you had prior experience playing Russian tanks. But that's just my opinion. What do you think of the T-90A? And what is your favorite 10.7 MBT? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. I sincerely hope y'all enjoyed this video or found it informational. If you'd like to keep up with my future uploads, feel free to subscribe and leave a like. Until then, I will see y'all next time.